Hello, my lovely viewers. Welcome again to my channel, Mathematics and I. It is your favorite presenter, Jeff Naino, and today we are still on the topic consistency of equations. Now, if you follow us in our channel, you will know that in our last video we talked about how you can actually solve problems, on how you can actually test the consistency of equations given. And today we are also going to be solving another question, okay? And this question is actually leading us to a quadratic equation. So if this is your first time joining us, sit back, relax. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and also don't forget to go through our other series of videos which you can actually learn mathematics from. So without wasting time, let us begin the class. The question says, find the values of k for which the following equations are consistent. Now, in our last video, we said for equations to be consistent, the determinant is equal to 0. The determinant is equal to 0. So what we are going to do first now is that we have to represent this set of equations in matrix form. Okay, thereby taking the determinants. Now, how do we do that? Let us proceed. Okay, I have 5, and I have k plus 1, and I have minus 5. You see, I simply took the coefficient of x, coefficient of y, and then our constant here. Again, I have k minus 1 as the coefficient of x here, and here I have 7, and I have a positive 5, right? And then here I have 3, I have 5, and then I have 1. And it should be equal to 0 for us to be able to find the value of k. Now, the next thing is that we're going to look for the determinants of this 3 by 3 matrix. And how do we do that? We shall be applying the method which says, alright, first of all, plus, minus, plus. This is what you do first when you are applying this method for solving the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. This method that we are about to use it. Now, the first element I have here is 5. Okay. Then, I delete the 2 elements under the column of 5, and I write the remaining 4 elements, which are 7, 5, 5, 1. Right. Now, next I have minus k plus 1. Minus into the bracket of k plus 1. Okay. Now, deleting the 2 elements I have under the column of k plus 1, I'm going to be left with k minus 1, 5, 3, and 1. Okay. Now I have a plus sign, I have a minus sign here. Now plus times minus gives us minus, so I'm going to be using minus 5. Again, deleting the 2 elements under the column of minus 5, we are going to be using k minus 1, 7, 3, 5. Don't forget, all is equal to 0. Good. Now let us proceed. Solving the 2 by 2 determinants of each of the matrices here, we have this 5 into the brackets of, how do you solve 2 by 2 determinants? It is simple. 7 multiplied by 1 minus 5 multiplied by 5. That is how you do this. Now, 7 times 1 gives us 7, minus 5 times 5 gives us 25. So we are done with that. Now minus k plus 1. Again, k minus 1 multiplied by 1 also gives us k minus 1, minus 3 times 5 gives us 15. We are done with this. And then we have minus 5. Now, k minus 1 multiplied by 5 gives us 5k minus 5. Because 5 times k is 5k and 5 times 1 is 5. Minus, now 3 multiplied by 7 gives us 21. All equal to 0. Now let's proceed. Here becomes 5. into the bracket of 7 minus 25 gives us minus 18 minus k plus 1. Now, minus 1 minus 15 gives us minus 16. So we're going to be having k minus 16 minus 5 into the bracket of minus 5 minus 21 gives us minus 26. So we're going to be having 5k minus 26 all equal to 0. You see, maths is all about steps. Okay, you don't jump into conclusion, you do it one after the other, and then you see it gets it right. Now let's open the bracket. Now 5 multiplied by minus 18 gives us minus 90. Okay, and first of all, k plus 1 multiplies k minus 16. And how do you do that? First, k multiplied all in the what? In the second bracket, which is k minus 16. And if we do that, k multiplied by k gives us k squared minus k multiplied by 16 gives us 16k. All right. Now, k has multiplied. So what is the next that multiplies? Plus 1. Now, plus 1 multiplied by k gives us plus k. Plus 1 multiplied by minus 16 gives us minus 16. Alright, simple as that. Minus 5. Now, what are we going to do now? Minus 5 multiplies everything inside the bracket, so remove the bracket. Now, minus 5 times 5k gives us minus 25k. And minus 5 times minus 26 gives us minus times minus gives us plus, and 5 times 26 gives us 130 equal to 0. Let us proceed. Now, here becomes, watch what we want to do now. I have minus 90 without a k. I have plus 130 without a k. So it means minus 90 and plus 130 can work together. So if we should do this, minus 90 plus 130 will give us 40. So here becomes minus into the bracket of k squared. Now, minus 16k plus k will give us minus 15k minus 16, close the bracket, minus 25k. Now we just said that minus 90 plus 130 gives us 40. So we're going to be having plus 40 equal to 0. Okay, now let us open the bracket. If we should open the bracket here, the minus sign multiply all the signs in the bracket. So minus multiplied by k squared gives us minus k squared. Minus multiplied by minus 15k gives us plus 15k. Alright? And minus multiplied by minus 16 gives us plus 16. Plus 16. Then followed by minus 25k plus 40 equal to 0. Alright? Now, as you can see, it is already leading us towards quadratic equation, where you see, because why? We have a square as our highest power. Now, what do we do next? Watch. I have 15k. I have minus 25k. I have plus 16. I have plus 40. So how do we work with this? Here becomes minus k squared. Now, 15k minus 25k will give us minus 10k. Okay, now 16 plus 40 will give us plus 56 equal to 0. All right, now in order for us to do away with the with the negative sign that k squared carries, in order for us to do away with it, this is what we are going to do. We are going to divide all through by the negative sign. So here becomes over minus, over minus, over minus, over minus. Why are we doing this? So that we can work with a positive k squared, not a negative k squared. So if we should do that, this is what we are going to get. Alright, now if minus should cancel out minus, now you see we are left with a positive k squared. Alright, minus divided by minus gives us a positive 10k, and plus divided by minus gives us a negative 56, and of course 0 divided by minus gives us 0, because 0 is neutral. It is neither negative nor positive. It is neutral. Now with this we can solve using factorization method or formula method, any method which you feel like using. Now in this case we want to use factorization method in solving this problem. Now here you would see that our a here is 1, and our b here is 10, and our c is minus 56. So it means, what are we going to do? Now, we are going to think of two numbers that when you multiply, you will get minus 56, which is the C. And then when you add these two numbers together, you will get 10, which is B. Now, these two numbers are, okay, let's see, minus 4 and 14. Let's see, minus 4 and 14. Why? Let us see. Minus 4 multiplied by 14 will give us minus 56, which is our C. And minus 4 plus 14 will give us 10, which is our B. So it means these two numbers are what we are going to use to replace the middle number, which is our B. You don't replace the A, you don't replace C. You only replace the middle number with these two numbers which we just thought of. Now, if we do that, it means we are going to be having k squared. Now, instead of writing plus 10k, I would write minus 4. Now, you have to give k, because what we are replacing with is 10k. There's a k. So here becomes k squared minus 4k plus 14k minus 56 is equal to 0. Good. I'm coming? Alright, now you see, it was as simple as this, because minus 4k plus 14k will also give us 10k. Alright, now when you are substitute these two numbers to replace your b, this is what you are going to do. Now the question is, what does k squared and 4k has in common? They have k in common. So we're going to bring what they have in common. K, we are factorizing now. Now we open the brackets. Now if k should cancel out k squared, we will be having k minus, if k should cancel out 4k, we are going to be having 4. Good. Now let's go to the next. I have a positive sign here. The question is, what does 14k and minus 56 have in common? 14k and 56 has 4 in common. So what would I do? I'll bring out the 4, which they have in common. Open the bracket. Sorry, they have 14 in common, not 4. They have 14 in common. Now we bring out the 14, which they have in common. Now, if 14 should cancel out 14, R will be left here with k. Minus, if 14 should cancel out 56, R will be left with 4, equal to 0. Now, you will see that after factorizing, what I have in the brackets are the same. Now, this is what tells you if what you are actually doing is right. After factorization, what you have in your bracket here should be the same. Now that they are the same, this is what we are going to do next. Now, k plus 14 outside the bracket, you give here and equates it to 0. Or k minus 4, which is inside the bracket, pick one of it and also equate it to 0. Now, if I should call it like 10, if plus 14 goes to the right hand side of the equation, here k becomes minus 14. And if minus 4 should cross to the right hand side of the equation, it becomes a positive 4. So therefore, k is equal to minus 14 or 4. So it means the values of k that will make the equation consistent is minus 14 or 4. So you see, this is how simple you can solve problems on consistency of equations. Now, if this is your first time joining us, don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to go through our previous videos. I bet you it will help you. But don't forget to share our videos so that others can learn from it. Till we meet again in our next class, I want to say thank you for watching and bye for now.